Thanks so much for attending my presentation about the dumbest items in Pokemon, and first we're going to talk about the berries. Berries have been around since Gen 2, but didn't become huge until Gen 3 when about 30 more were added. Most of these are standard, healing HP, raising stats when at low health, or whatever, but some are a bit wild. Let's start with the Starf Berry, which, after getting below 25% HP, raises a random stat by 2 stages. This is, and you'll hear this a lot, pretty dog shit. It got some use in ADV on a crazy Swellow team that substitutes down to 1, gets the boost, and then hopefully passes something good. Every stat boost can be used by something, but it's still a bit luck reliant. Fittingly, the Enigma Berry makes no goddamn sense, healing the holder after being hit by a super effective attack. It's literally just worse Citrus Berry and gets essentially no usage. And then there's the other stat boosters, specifically the Lansat Berry and the Mickle Berry, which raise crit chances and accuracy respectively. While they might seem useful, health or damage reduction is almost always better. There are some items that seem completely useless on the surface, but actually have niches. The Big Nugget and TR43, which are normally only used in single player, can deal tons of damage with Fling. This is really strong for Sneasler, giving it dark type coverage while activating in Burden, doubling its speed. Flame Orb, an item that literally burns the holder, seems unusable but has some big benefits. First, it can be tricked to give to other Pokemon, especially physical attackers. More interesting though is the fact that when burned, you can't be paralyzed, poisoned, or put to sleep. Thus, it can be run on Montague status conditions, of course alongside Guts Pokemon that straight up benefit from burn. Mail being usable is pretty fucking stupid, but it does have its purposes. Blissey is its biggest fan, avoiding tricks since mail can't be taken away. Bliss hates being locked into moves, and this helps to mitigate that problem. Lastly, Ring Target makes the holder lose all of their type immunities, which sounds awful until you of course remember Trick. As far as I know though, the only use is on really out there Cofagrigus sets that prefer to be hit so they can spread Mummy. Items that lower speed and priority actually do have some solid use cases. The first is pretty standard. By using Prankster and Trick, you can essentially destroy something on the opponent's team. Offensive threats become way easier to deal with when they move last every single turn. More interesting though is when Pokemon actually use the speed drop to their advantage. There are some really important mechanics, specifically terrain and weather, that are speed dependent. The slower Pokemon gets their ability activated, overriding the faster mons instantly. This is really niche, but can be useful in some fringe cases. A great example is Ninetales, who in old VGC formats would run Iron Ball to underspeed nearly every other weather user. Room Service, lower speed, and Trick Room. This is another pretty bad item, as most mons would prefer to run something damage boosting or healing, but can help sometimes. The most important is on the already slow Amoonguss, who needs it to outspeed Trick Room nuisances like Torkoal and put them to sleep. Finally, we reach the items that I couldn't really fit into a distinct category. Even though it's been talked about to death at this point, I do want to quickly mention Berserk's Gene, a Gen 2 exclusive item. This gives you a free Swords Dance boost on switch in, but also confuses the holder, making each move used extremely risky. Nothing really runs this, thank God. I don't want to have to deal with +2 Snorlax flipping a coin with Double Edge every turn. Quick Claw and Razor Claw are just stupid. The former makes every single move have a low chance to go first in its priority bracket, ignoring speed. This is literally just rolling dice. My personal favorite is John Who's absurd VGC team sporting a Quick Claw Eruption Torkoal. Razor Claw isn't as bad, just increasing crit chance, but this can still be devastating with good luck. Lastly, not running an item at all can be very useful. An obvious reason is Acrobatics, which gains a 2x power boost, turning it into a top tier flying move. It also enables Thief, being strong on offensive GSC teams and stealing leftovers, the best item in the format. In conclusion, there's a ton of really weird bullshit in Pokemon, but there being even more items that I didn't mention here. In a game with as much variety as Mons, there's tons of room to innovate, so I highly encourage you guys to experiment. Thank you so much for watching.